Wander Wealthy Podcast, episode 273. Welcome back to another episode of the Wander Wealthy Podcast. My name is Tess Wicks. If you are brand new to this show, a warm welcome to you. I am a financial coach turned business coach for all my fellow money coaches out there in the world. I host this podcast and I'm the founder of Wander Wealthy, which is a full online training business for money coaches. So if you happen to be in the world of money coaching, maybe you're brand new, aspiring, or an even seasoned coach who's just looking for community and mentorship, then this is the place to be. Over at wanderwealthy.com, you can find a ton of helpful resources to help you build your coaching business, from marketing and sales to also creating something amazing to deliver to your clients. And we have some free resources as well if you dig through the many podcast episodes and go to wanderwealthypodcast.com and check out the resources tab over there. But today we're going to talk about how to build your financial coaching framework. And if you've been around this space in recent weeks, then you know that today's actually a very exciting day. You might have not have known that today would be that day, but earlier this week, I launched the Coaching Framework Builder, which is a self-paced program for all those aspiring and seasoned money coaches who are really looking to create a coaching program of their own that is impactful, that allows them to really have authority in the space of coaching, that allows them and provides them with the experience and the transformation to develop the confidence and the knowledge of who they can be as a money coach and how they can show up for their clients, and so many more things. So that is now available to you. You can check it out by going to wanderwealthy.com/framework and even get in. There's a couple days left where I'm running a very special deal. You can find it when you go to wanderwealthy.com/framework. It's at the top of the page. If you tune in after next Monday, which will be August 29th, I believe, then that deal is over. So don't worry about that. It's still an amazing program that is really taking some of the best stuff, and, I would argue the best stuff, but I know there's so much value in the Wealthy Coach Blueprint, which is my signature coaching framework for building a money coaching business. It's taking some of the best stuff from that experience that I deliver to my one-on-one clients, and it's packaging it into a self-paced program for you. For those of you who haven't gotten a chance to get inside of the blueprint and work with me one-on-one, this is the juicy stuff that maybe you've been looking for and maybe you just wanted to get your hands on and sink your teeth into. So wanderwealthy.com/framework. And ultimately today, I'm just going to take this opportunity to share with you, what my framework is of building a coaching framework. A little meta, I know, but that's ultimately what I need to walk my talk, and I need to share with you kind of the 4 steps that I believe are extremely important to creating your own money coaching framework, so that you know that you can develop it with confidence, develop it in the most simplistic manner without having boatloads of experience. I think that's one of the things that holds a lot of aspiring coaches back, especially, is that they feel like, well, I can't actually sell a program or, really create my own methodology because I don't have experience of coaching yet. And the interesting thing is, I've talked about the benefits of having a framework in the past, but I think it's worthy of mentioning them again here. But one of the key benefits is that it allows you to sell your program with more clarity, being able to kind of communicate what your program has to offer to your clients and provide some tangibility to those potential clients who, are looking and curious about what am I actually getting for this investment? And it provides you with guidance and a structure and a format to follow when you are actually coaching, but it also gives you confidence and gives you that thing that you can lean on to say, hey, I am an expert in this space. I do have authority. I do know what I'm talking about, and I do know how to help others. But a lot of people are like, but I don't have the experience of helping others, and therefore I'm not, allowed to have a framework, and maybe I just need to figure out how to get clients without a framework so eventually I can develop one, right? It's that like age-old kind of question, chicken or the egg question, where when you're applying for a job, people want to see that you have experience, but how do you get experience when you don't have experience? And how do you get a job without experience when that's the requirement? That thing? I feel like it's very similar here. The amazing news is we can kind of hack it. And I've developed a framework myself, a process myself to help you hack it and help you gain the knowledge and a little bit of the experience you need in a time frame that's not going to cost you a lot of time and a lot of missed income opportunities, and really still help position you as, an authority in this space, and even through, gaining this like quote unquote experience of the process we go through so that you can build this framework. It sets you up in a way where then when you ultimately launch your program, you might be able to leverage all of the kind of things that you've done throughout, if you do join the Coaching Framework Builder, the things that you did to get that quote unquote experience, you'll be able to leverage that and potentially get some clients out of that, which is really, really awesome. So with that said, let's just walk you through the process of building your own financial coaching or money coaching framework. Okay. So when you join the Coaching Framework Builder, you're going to get access to the very first step, which is ultimately helping you understand the business model of money coaching. This is huge because so many of us get into this business without having an idea of like, how do you actually make money? What does a money coach actually do? What can and cannot a money coach do? And like, where is the line between money coach versus financial advisor, planner, investment manager? And then also, how do you take what is seemingly an extremely unsustainable, not scalable process of one-on-one coaching and actually scale it? Like, how can this be a sustainable and kind of long-lasting business? And what does that business model look like? So we answer a lot of those questions. We also dig into setting a solid financial foundation for you so that you can understand and have like realistic expectations around what you're ultimately about to build, right? When you start to build out a framework and start packaging a program and making sure it's a good fit for your clientele, you need to make sure that there is a price and product market fit. And that all needs to make sense. It needs to be really a well-oiled machine. So we go through and do a lot of that foundational work in the very first step so that you can have a full picture understanding of what am I about to build? What am I about to get into? And I think ultimately what step one does is it answers a lot of those lingering questions. And these are the questions I hear over and over again from potential clients and people in the industry, is they're really curious, like, how do the inner workings of money coaching work? And what does that look like? And how can I see that this is going to be a sustainable and viable option for me in terms of building a business? So we cover answering those questions, understanding the scalable business model, your financial foundation, and helping you to start understanding what maybe a starting price point could be for you that you can then test out in your market and stress test it, and then giving you an idea of, okay, what do these next steps look like? What are we about to build so that when you actually go out and do step two, which I'm going to share in a little bit, you know exactly kind of what you're looking for, okay? So it's a key foundational step. The second step in building your financial coaching framework, a lot of people are like, all right, I'm ready. I'm ready to get to the good stuff. I'm ready to outline my program and like do all the bells and whistles and start creating content. But it's actually to have an insane amount of patience with me and with yourself and do the market research and the niching work. So in step 2, it's all about creating a client-centric program. And we talk about this in the first step, why it's so important to make sure you're putting your clients first in business. And step 2 really helps you actually do that. You're going to learn about the power of niching and how to really create a niche that will work for you and that will help you stand out and be an expert in that space. You don't have to be an expert in all the spaces. You can just be an expert for your niche. You can be kind of the go-to coach and the one name that everyone thinks of when they think about your niche. And then actually going and validating that A, your niche exists, B, your niche has problems that you can solve, and C, they actually want to pay for the resolution of those problems. And then that really helps us validate this entire concept for you, or, take the time to determine, does something need to change here? This is the gritty work. This is the work that isn't always fun, which is why this program is so important. And the timing and the pacing of the program, I've also put a lot of thought into. And also the price of this program, why I've priced it the way that it is priced, is because it really requires an investment from you, because this step, it's not easy. I'm not going to lie. It's a grind at times, but it is the most critical and valuable thing you can do for your business, which is why it's such an important step in the framework of building your own financial coaching framework. And what I can offer you, though, is that I've made this step as easy as possible by providing you with all of the tips and tricks that I can provide to really get to the other side of this step, getting that market research done, getting that validation. I'm giving you scripts, I'm giving you the tools that you need, and I'm giving you the space that you need to ultimately get that done. And the tools, or the kind of rules of thumb and things to know when you are or are not ready to move forward. And I think that's a critical mistake that a lot of people make, is they try to skip and breeze over this step without really giving it and doing the due diligence and giving it the respect that it requires. Because again, once you're on the other side of this, it's liquid gold in your business. Like, the information you glean, first, the validation that, okay, this is the right market. They do have the problem. They are willing to invest. The investment makes sense from, and matches the financial foundation that I set for myself in step 1. Like, it all is kind of coming together. Then beyond that, beyond the validation, the data that you glean from this process is not only going to help you build out your framework, which is going to be amazing and impactful, and it really resonate with your ideal clients, so much so that it makes them, just desire to be a part of it and desire to invest in your program. But it also helps you so much with all of the marketing that you're about to do to sell this framework and to get it out in front of people. So this is a critical step, and again, a big reason why this program is structured the way that it is. And, I hesitated initially even creating this program, because I understand that this step requires so much of you. And in a self-paced model, it's not always easiest to have the self-discipline, but I've worked in and put in so many things that I believe will make this process a bit easier, especially this step. And like I said, the results when you do put the work in on the other side are just, it's so worth it. I can't say that enough. Okay. So once we've identified, okay, who's our clientele? What is our niche? How are we showing up? Have we validated that they're willing and ready to pay and want this solution? Then we're able to move on to step 3 of my framework, which is building your financial coaching framework. And that is to actually go out and build your high impact framework and program. So step 3 is all about kind of pulling that information together. And this is another one that people really crave when I jump on the phone and I'm wondering, what are you looking for in a coach? What are you looking for in a solution to your problems? And a lot of my aspiring money coaches or seasoned money coaches come to me and they say, I have all these ideas. I have a lot of information and maybe parsed out data points on my clients. I just don't know how to bring it all together. And I don't know what that looks like actually coming together. And in step 3 is where we answer all those questions. So similarly, whether, you come into this program with your own ideas and tons of, I think if you've been in this space for a while, or even if you haven't, you probably have like notes on your phone that are just chock full of bullet pointed ideas, processes, content pieces, program thoughts, and all the other things under the sun. And you're having a hard time figuring out how to pull that all together. But then naturally, if you go through step 2 and you've done all this research, you're going to have even more data on top of that. So how do we organize that? How do we wrap our mind around it and really put it into create a solution for all of those ideas and those data points, and then put it into a marketable framework? And that's what we're going to cover in step 3. You're going to learn about the power of timelining your client's transformation and creating an outline for them to experience that transformation, even if it's just in their head through learning about your framework. You're also going to learn what it looks like to actually take, this kind of like general outline that you're creating and actually make it tangible in terms of a deliverable program that you can deliver, and a program that is also not just like, I'm just going to throw information out there and hope that people take it and implement upon it, but how do you help hold your clients accountable? How do you actually create an experience and actually provide and facilitate a coaching package that leads to real transformation, real results for your clients? You're going to get all of those things answered in step 3, and you're going to start packaging your own program in a package that is effective, but is also simple. And I think simple is really key here, because I've found that a lot of times as business owners, whether we're current or aspiring, we get really excited about the ideas, and then we start to kind of pull all of our ideas together, and then we get overwhelmed by the execution of those ideas. And what's really magical about how I teach program development and creation is we keep it simple so that you can actually execute. And so it feels like it's possible to execute and deliver your program without, maybe over promising and under delivering, or without you just not knowing how to do all those things. So step 3 is really actually taking all of this information that you probably have floating around in your head. You might be totally bogged down in decision fatigue and analysis paralysis, and we're really going to lift you up and give you the exercises, the tasks, the worksheets that'll help you take steps forward and bring it all together in a really, really magical way. Okay. Then we get to the 4th step of building your financial coaching framework. And this is actually sort of a bonus step, because after you're done with step 3, you've built it. Like, you've done the work. You have something that you can actually take and sell. What hangs people up, though, is that they're like, okay, yeah, on paper, I have a framework, but in terms of if someone actually buys this, how am I going to deliver this? How do I figure out how to do all of these tech things? What softwares do I use? What things do I need to communicate? Like what pieces of my computer need to be communicating, and what do I need to email, and how do clients actually learn, and all of that stuff. So those are a lot of lingering questions that I'm always quick to tell my clients, don't get hung up on these, right? I'm always like, don't worry about the how. You can figure out the how. That's the easiest part. With that said, I know that it still hangs people up. And so in step 4, I really wanted to create a solution almost to ease your mind, but also so that you can see how simple it really can be to actually create the end deliverable of your program. And, how do you create the video content? How do you deliver it without paying an arm and a leg to put it up on something like Kajabi, or, at least just maximize the potential of it in total so that you're not spending a lot of money creating it and then also delivering it to your clients, because there's lots of software out there that provides that solution, but it costs money, or you're going to pay a percentage every time someone pays you. And although, eventually you might just chalk that up to the cost of doing business, full transparency, I use Kajabi. It is expensive, but I'm at a point in my business now where it makes sense for me. You might not be there quite yet, and you might not be willing to make that investment quite yet, which is completely understandable. That's why I teach you how to offer a program without spending more than $100 a year, maybe $150 a year, if we're being generous. And it just works. And your clients would be none the wiser. They wouldn't expect anything beyond that, because you can still make it look really professional, really polished, and it's almost better in that way to deliver it that way, especially when you're just launching a new program. So I walk you through all of that, and I give you detailed tutorials on how to use different pieces, and really just show you how it can all come together very, very seamlessly without putting a lot of money on the table, unless you want to. And I'll show you some tools that I do recommend if you are willing to spend, some money here or there, and like the pros and cons of it and all of that. But it's really just kind of this resource for you to also learn how to actually build like a course, a program that gets delivered over the internet. And so that's what step 4 is all about when it comes to building your financial coaching framework. And it's, just a collection of very helpful resources for you. And then we have a lot of other things, but that is the summary of what it really takes to build a financial coaching framework. And I wanted to give you that up front, and also then let you know, like, it might sound like a lot of work. And although, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, sometimes it can feel like a lot of work. When you get to the other side, it is so worth it, because ultimately then you have this tangible asset, one of the most valuable assets I think you'll ever have in your business, which is your very own signature coaching framework, methodology, process, system, whatever you want to call it. And it makes you so much more marketable. It establishes you as an authority, and it gives a little bit of confidence and peace of mind to your ideal clients as well, when they're kind of wondering, should I invest in that person, in that coach? So it is amazing. And I packaged it all to be completed within 5 weeks. You might need a little bit more time, or you might want to take a little bit more time, but ideally we really want to kind of put your finger to the fire and say, let's get this done. Let's make this happen. You've been saying you've wanted to make this happen for so long. Let's actually go out there and do it. Let's go out and validate your market. Let's understand what business looks like, especially when it's a coaching business. Let's build that framework, and let's get it out there and sell it, and then ultimately deliver it and really see the results that you can have and you can provide to your clients. So if you want to join us, you can head to wanderwealthy.com/framework to check out the webpage, get more information there, and sign up. And it's pretty much easy as that. You will get access to a fast action bonus, which is these amazing sales page templates I've created. I had someone help me create them in Canva so that you don't have to worry about whipping together something in your own website or developing it or creating copy for it yourself. You're also just, if you have questions as you go through the program, there is a little bit of accessibility to me. You're able to comment on the lessons with the respective questions that relate to that lesson, and then I'll be able to respond to you there, maybe potentially create mini trainings that make sense for the majority of people who are going through the program that might have a similar question, and just address you so that you do feel supported and you're not just like completely on your own going through this self-paced program, but there is a level of support baked in that you will get from me as your coach, even though it's not, a one-on-one program or you don't have Voxer or WhatsApp access to me. You still have the opportunity to ask your questions and get those questions answered. So all of that is included in the program and in the investment. And I really do think that this is a game changer out there in the market, especially for financial coaches. And it's going to help you not only be a better coach, but also have a business and run an effective business. So wanderwealthy.com/framework to get your hands on it. And thank you for supporting Wander Wealthy and for trusting me in being this mentor for you in your business, maybe also in your personal life, I don't know, and for listening to this podcast and supporting the podcast in that way. And I am just so excited for what this program can do for everyone. So with that said, that is the show for this week. And until next week, I hope you wander wealthy.